Hi everybody, Dave Taylor here with Game Trade Media. We're at the Alliance Open House, and today I'm speaking with Ria and Adam from CMON, and we're going to be talking about this awesome box, A Song of Ice and Fire. So, new game, it launched last week.
Yeah,
right?
August 31st.
Okay. August 31st. So I'm going to slide this out of the way. There we go. Yeah, basically, how did launch go?
Yes, yeah, and thank you guys so much for having us.
Oh, sorry.
By the way. Yeah.
I always like to go straight into this.
Right
into it. But welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This has been, so far for me, a very exciting, fun launch.
Cool.
I just started with CMON Games, so it's been very fun to
and
be
a crazy
in this
time
one.
to be here.
Crazy good.
Yeah, crazy good time. Yep, for sure. But we had loads of boxes going out to stores.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was our core offering, as Dave just showed you the box top. This is the Stark versus Lannister introductory core set. As you can see, tons of plastic in here, tons of variability. And that's one of the big pitches we've made with Song of Ice and Fire, is that at the price point, with the way our system works, the attachments, the commanders, and the non-combat units that you see here, those really offer a plethora of different combinations, because it's not where you have Lannister Guardsman and just the Guardsman Captain as an optional attachment. You can actually take Jaime Lannister and place him over here. You can take the Mountain and place him here. You can do the Assault Veteran. Just tons of replayability just right out of the box.
Yeah, yep. I think one of the things I'm really excited about for it, particularly the Starks, obviously. Sorry, I just had to wear it. I knew it was going to annoy you. But no, is that variety. I mean, the games, it's like a standard game size is about 30 or 40 points.
Yeah, out of the box, we recommend right at 30 points.
Yeah, and that's basically the box puts together a 30-point army for you with those attachments, with the different bits and pieces. So that's really cool. I'm a big miniatures guy, so I love to see quality in miniatures, and that's what you guys have delivered with all of these. I mean, everything comes pre-assembled.
Yeah, it's pre-assembled, obviously color-coded by faction, so every faction will appear different. And we did that so that players could come right into the store. If they see a tournament getting ready to ramp up, they can literally buy either the introductory starter set, pick one of the two factions, play it right on the table that day, or when November comes around, we'll have the first of the single faction starters with the Night's Watch. They'll be able to pick that up, boom, hit it on the table, shuffle up some cards, and you're good to go.
Yep, that's fantastic. Getting playing straight away. One of the things that I also love about the minis is that while the body itself is like a slightly harder sort of PVC, I guess, that all the weapon arms are all high-impact polystyrene.
Yes.
So I'm here flicking this, and this is not it's not a bendy sword like we might have seen in board game miniatures from 10 years ago. It's nice and sharp and clean, and the halberdiers especially.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that
thing.
really highlights to me that is the straightness of the halberdiers, which typically you see somebody with something long like that, it's going to get a ton of bend, and I've seen very few that actually have any kind of bend, even from the top of the weapon all the way down to the haft below where the grip point is. Yeah. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I think it just opens up a lot of different possibilities for how you can be creating beautiful models and that sort of thing.
Get your rule book, punch boards, 3 full punch boards with terrain templates, your objective tokens, the various effect tokens like weakened, panicked, vulnerable, and then the wounds for the models that take more than one wound to knock out of the game. A standard foot company will take a wound, and that represents one model coming off of the board, and that's how we track wounds with it. Things like the Stark Outriders, those each have 3 wounds, so you'll have to accumulate 3 wounds to take out one of the horsemen.
Right. Oh, that's good. And I was going to show you some of these terrain pieces are double-sided. I think, or the one that I picked here, they're the same on each side, so it doesn't really matter which way you put them down. But yeah.
Yeah, we've got the Weirwood Tree, the Bogs. Each of those has a different game effect. For example, the 2 you see here, the Weirwood Tree actually inspires your troops when they're within a radius of it. so they will be better at their morale tests, which is a big factor in our games.
Yep.
The pile of corpses, however, will be terrifying to them and actually take them to a penalty state for the morale checks.
That's reverse. Yeah, because nobody likes to be fighting around there.
And we even have a castle assault mode within the game, represented by these castle walls, so the walls can take wounds just like factions.
Right.
Well, we also have all this stuff going on inside the castle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say
the part I like
that's
the
Rhea's
best,
favorite
right?
part.
Like just having like all the. It's not just about the battlefield, right?
Right.
Right. Like true to the character of Song of Ice and Fire, right? There's elements and things that play into sort of intrigue and different things happening inside of, for lack of a better way of putting it, inside of the castle walls, right?
Right. Yep.
And then you have special characters that influence and apply to those things as well.
Yeah, and actually, here are a couple of those. We got Tyrion and Cersei for the Lannisters, and Sansa and Catelyn for the Starks.
Right. And these are referenced in the game as non-combat units.
Non-combat units.
Okay.
Yeah. They will never actually participate on the field, but they will do their duty writing letters, sending ravens in the background to help the forces.
And they'll certainly affect combat, right? Like it's not just their own sort of thing. And then the thing that I really think is cool about this mini set is just how everything is sized proportionally, right? Everyone is true to their true heights from the books, which, as somebody that read the books,
right? Yep.
is very cool to me, right?
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes. This is what.
Yeah. If you think he's impressive there, you should see him in the mounted pose on his war horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I painted up a version of that of the mountain that rides for an article for Game Trade magazine, which I think will be in the October issue.
Excellent.
So, yes.
That's super fun.
That.
Definitely cool. No, that's a fantastic model, and the steed for that is huge. It's got 22 hands, 23 hands tall, or something like that.
Oh,
it's
man.
A massive draft horse. But
so as I said, a ton of replayability there, just straight out of the box, and then we're gonna hit it hard. September, we've got 8 different unit boxes launching in September.
Oh, fantastic!
And the goal of that is to, because we want this to be a vibrant tournament environment, we want to get the contents that were offered to Kickstarter backers into retail as quickly as possible.
Right.
So everybody has a chance to catch up, have the same units, and those Kickstarter backers can, actually get their units on the field, so that because they'll be legal once they release in retail.
Right. Cool. I'm a member of the Song of Ice and Fire Facebook group, and there's a lot of people who are posting their different army list ideas.
Yeah.
Where they're working with like 2 or 3 units of the Umbers, Umber Berserkers, or 2 or 3 units of Halberdiers instead of exactly what's in the core set. So it's great to see that people are looking at the different combinations that they can do, particularly with in conjunction with the tactics board, to sort of come up with some brutal combos, I think.
Yeah, and that's one of the big questions people are kicking around is because these are taken out of your point deductions or your point composition for your army. It's the question of, do I run 1 NCU? Do I run 2? I've seen some lists that are running 3 NCUs.
Oh, really? With 3? Wow.
Because it's such an advantage to play with the stuff there.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of Peter Baelish and the High Sparrow and Maester Pycelle.
Right. Yep.
I've seen a lot of that. But it's that question of, can I field 1 more unit of the baseline Lannister Guardsman, or do I want to add another NCU?
Right. Yep.
So this is just a little sneak peek of some of the things that are coming in September and October. Here we have the Stark Bowmen, which is the first range troop for the Stark faction.
Cool.
These guys are absolutely brutal. They ignore intervening models in combat.
Oh, fantastic.
And anytime you take an attack from a ranged model, you have to suffer a panic test to see if your folks run. And obviously this is licensed from Darksword Miniatures, who holds the license for the book. And that actually brings up a good point. Our entire game is based on the breadth of options that are available in the Song of Ice and Fire books, as opposed to any of the other media that's been put out there.
Right. Yeah. And I know that the team has been working closely with George.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And making sure everything's right and that sort of thing.
He's had a lot of input. He said he wanted to see a lot of troops on the field with lots of fun banners.
Yeah.
So that's what we gave him.
Yep, definitely. I think that's great. So this unit here, these are the Lannister, obviously.
The Knights of Casterly Rock. Yeah, they're just they're so nice painted up. I wish I had the skill. This is actually my first time painting anything from a miniatures game, and I just see some of these really talented folks out there doing amazing things with these beautifully detailed miniatures.
Yeah. The other things you brought are the Heroes box set.
Yeah, let's pop those guys up there real quick. So we have Tyrion in his actual combat pose because he famously led the clans of the mountain in the first book, I believe.
Yep.
Into battle.
One of the first battles in the
the
War of the Five Kings.
Battle of the Whispering Woods, I think, something like that. So he has his battle axe, which is nearly as big as he is. Here we have the Great Lion, Tywin Lannister. We have Sandor Clegane, the Hound. We have the High Sparrow, who's the leader of the Faith and the Faith Militant. And we have Maester Pycelle, the High Maester of Westeros.
Cool. So for those, so I'm guessing Maester Pycelle and the High Sparrow would definitely be non-combat units.
Yes.
And this is a combat version of Tyrion?
This is a combat version of Tyrion. He is fielded strictly as a combat in this form, as opposed to the one that comes in the starter box, which he's fielded as an NCU. Tywin, I believe, Tywin can be fielded as a on-field commander or an NCU.
Okay.
So we do have that aspect of the game where folks can bounce depending on your composition. And what the important thing that those leaders do is a leader adds, I believe it's 10 cards to your deck, your tactics deck, that's going to customize the composition of your tactics deck that you play every round to give yourself increased combat abilities on the field. So Tywin will have his custom cards, Jaime has his custom cards, Tyrion has the same.
Right. Oh, fantastic.
Yep. And then I guess...
And then my favorites. You got to put them out there.
I guess I'll show these guys.
Out there. Some of these... It's the first time I've gotten to see them, so this is actually really exciting. I'm like, oh, can I look at that a little closer? I know we're in a video right now, but
yeah. So from your right to your left, we have Ned Stark with ice. We have Hodor carrying Bran on his back. I don't know if you can see that well there. And also, when you field those two together, you get Summer, Bran's dire wolf from the game.
Fantastic.
We have Brendan Tully in his dismounted form. Brendan will actually be in a mounted version coming up in a later Heroes box.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
So that's something.
Catelyn Stark's...
Catelyn's uncle.
Uncle,
yeah.
Right.
Hoster's brother.
Right.
The Blackfish, one of the few Starks that I actually like. This one is Sir Roderick Castle, the Castellan of Winterfell.
Fantastic.
And then here we have the Crannogman Warden, which is the first Crannogman to appear in the game, aside from the Kickstarter version, which has Howland Reed.
Okay.
Who's the leader of the Crannogman.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's just 4 of the boxes that'll be coming out in September. We have 4 more. I believe we have the Stark Outriders single box. So we have the Ember Berserkers single box. Like I said, we want to flesh out the stuff that everybody got with the Kickstarter and get those in retail as soon as possible. We will have the Night's Watch launching in November, and that'll be composed of the Night's Watch.
I'm going to have to get a different shirt for that.
For that one, yeah.
I really wish we could figure out a way to release that on Black Friday, because then we could call it Taking the Black Friday.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
How about that? Nice.
That would be good. That would be good.
So we'll launch that with the single faction starter, which will have a force comparable. In general, you'll get 4 units comprised of different common foot soldiers, some specialized troops, and with the Night's Watch, there'll be a Scorpion builder crew.
Oh, wow.
I believe.
Fantastic.
So that'll be the first War Machine entering the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And along with that, we'll release 2 more Night's Watch single unit boxes that you can supplement your force with.
Sure.
And then we will kick into the Free Folk, which are the companion faction to the Night's Watch, will be in January.
Right.
So we'll finally see giants and spear maidens and all the cool folks
fantastic.
like that.
No, I'm excited about those as well.
Doing my poor paint job, I'm sure I'll love to watch them on the field.
Yeah, I think they'll come up really, really nice with just a white prime and some washes and like some grays and browns.
So easy.
I know,
doesn't
just
it?
a
Right,
base and a
You move your hand over it like this, and it becomes painted.
TV magic. So you have TV magic on your
there you go.
We'll have to
There
work
you
on
go.
that, Johnny and Leona. Yep. Fantastic.
I guess the only thing I do want to say beyond that is that aside from December having no releases, we have a very strong release calendar with 4 to 6 units every month from now until Gen Con 2018.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason it stops there is because we have a lot more things in development past that.
Right.
So
Oh, that's awesome. So once again, we've got Song of Ice and Fire, the huge core box set with 2 essentially 30-point armies ready to roll. Everything's pre-assembled, color-coded for the different factions. That's $150.
$149.99.
Yep. So that and released on August 31st. So that's out in the wild. I know there's a bunch of other things that are going out. So we've got 8 more that are coming out September
28th.
So loads of stuff coming out for Song of Ice and Fire. You guys have got a great release schedule for it. We're really excited. Yeah, I think that's
Awesome.
about it.
Thank you
very
so
much for coming in.
having us. Yes.
Very cool.
And remember,
Fantastic.
Lannisters always pay their debts.
Oh.
They don't. I can't wait until we get some Bravosi characters in there too.
Yes.
To prove that they
Yeah.
don't always pay.
I can't wait for Syrio.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks for watching Game Trade Media. Make sure to leave us a like and click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new content.